Alright guys, you're welcome back. Okay, so transferring your pattern to fabric, it's advisable you transfer to your lining first, okay, before you transfer to your main fabric. Now, so that any form of corrections, you can still have another opportunity to make your corrections, if any. Okay, so I needed to show us something. So this is our back skirt pattern. Okay, now the first thing I like to do is to pin down the lining. Okay, now the lining is on fold. Okay, so it's on fold. I just pinned it down. All right, then I'll go ahead and place the skirt pattern on it. Okay, now we're leaving allowances by the side, okay, here at the center back and by the side as well. All right, so I'll go ahead and pin this down, okay, and I'll show us how to add the allowances. So I have pinned down the back skirt pattern. All right, so let's proceed with the adding of allowances. Now the first thing you need to do is to extend your hip lines. Okay, just use your ruler, extend the lines outward like so. Okay, so extend your knee line on the lining now. Okay, then you extend your full length, okay, as well. Okay, now we'll go ahead and add. So this is the side back, okay, and on the side back we're adding 1.5 inches sewing allowance. Okay, so I'll go ahead and add my 1.5 inches. I'll add on the waistline as well. I'll add on the knee line as well. Okay, I'll add on the full length, that's on the hem of the skirt. Okay, then I'll go ahead and connect these measurements together, okay, like so. Okay, and here we have it. The side is ready. Remember, we added 1.5 inches sewing allowance. Okay, now let's come to the center back. Center back is where we are going to fix our zip line, and I like to use 1 inch as my zip allowance. So I'm adding my 1 inch now. Okay, I have my 1 inch there. I'll add my 1 inch on the hip line as well. I'll add my 1 inch on the knee line. I'll add my 1 inch on the hem of the skirt. Okay, then I'll go ahead and connect these measurements. Okay, like so. Okay, there we have it. Now let's go ahead and add our allowance on the hem of the skirt. Okay, so we're adding 2 inches allowance here on the skirt hem. Okay, so 2 inches and 2 inches. We'll go ahead and connect these measurements as well. Okay, so we will extend our allowance, our 1 inch on the center back downward. Okay, then we're extending the 2 inches here as well. So this is it. Now let's move over to the waist of the skirt. Now on the waist we're adding 1/2 inch allowance. Okay, so it's 1/2 inch that we have on the waistline. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect that as well. Okay, and here we have it. Now I like to extend the dart legs out because we're going to notch on it. Okay, So this is it for the back pattern of the skirt. Okay, 1.5 inches allowance here, 2 inches at the hem, 1 inch by the center back for the zip. Okay, now for the slit, okay, the standard slit length is 7 inches. Okay, but I want mine to be 8. Okay, so the slit length is 8 inches. Now I'll bear this in mind. All right, so let's move over to the front pattern of the skirt. Okay, so I have them pinned as well. Okay, I'll just drop this here so the lining does not move. So to the front pattern, okay, we're repeating the same thing. So this is the folded side of the lining. Okay, this is the open side. So for the front pattern of the skirt, you're going to align the center front to the folded side of the lining. Okay, and just like we did on the back pattern, we need to extend these lines outward like so. Okay, so we're extending the lines like so. Now we'll go ahead and add, remember what we added on the side back? We added 1.5 inches. Okay, now we're repeating the same thing here. We're adding 1.5 inches to the side front as well. Okay, the allowances are to be added on the side front. Okay, so this is 1.5 inches. Then I'll go ahead and connect that as well. Okay, and here we have it. Now let's move over to the waist of the skirt. Okay, now I need us to take note of something. So when you're trying to pin your pattern to your fabric or your lining, you're going to notice that it's going to be away from the center of the fabric. Okay, like so. Now if you try to force it, it's going to bulge, but you need your pattern as flat as possible. Okay, also because we closed our dart, you're going to experience a little bit of bulging here. Okay, now it's either you press it down or you raise it up like so. Okay, it's going to be the same. It's not going to affect your measurements in any way. Okay, so whether you raise it up, you press it down, is the same. Okay, so once you experience this on your fabric, you shouldn't worry. All right, so on the waistline, we're going to add 1/2 inch to the waistline. Okay, so I'll go ahead and connect that as well. You remember that this place is not straight. Okay, okay, so connected it like so. Then I will also mark my 1.5 inches here. Okay, and here we have it. Now I'll connect this to the hip line like so, and that's it. You remember to blend every sharp point. All right, and here we have it. Now let's move over to the hem of the front pattern. Remember we extended the front hem by 2 inches. Okay, so we're going to repeat the same on the back as well. So come down here by 2 inches. Okay, and then I'll connect it. Then I'll also extend this line. Okay, and that's it. Our pattern is ready for cutting. So I'll proceed and cut this pattern out. Okay, So we are starting with the front. Okay, now you will want to pin very well. I will encourage you to pin, okay, so that you're sure your that your fabric is in place. Okay, so the more the pin, the better. All right, so I'll proceed to cut now. Okay, and here we have it. Now you need to notch to indicate the point. So this is the hip line. I'll give it a notch. This is the knee line. I'll give it a notch as well. Okay, we can also notch the center front. Okay, the front skirt is ready. Let's go ahead and cut the back. Okay, okay, and here we have it. The back skirt pattern is ready. It's time for us to notch. Now the first place is for us to notch the hip line. Okay, so we have notched the hip line. We'll notch the knee line. Okay, we'll repeat the same on this side, on the side back as well. We'll notch the knee line. We'll notch the hip line. Okay, now the next thing for us to do is to notch the dart lines. Okay, just a little, don't cut too deep. All right, now remember that this 1 inch is for the zip. Okay, so I'll go ahead and notch the zip allowance. Okay, so that once I see this side, I will know, okay, that this is the side facing the I'll know that this is the side for the zip. Okay, and here we have it. Now the back skirt pattern is ready. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and transfer this exactly the way it is now to the fabric I showed us earlier. Okay, so I'll transfer this and then I'll show us what next to do. Hi guys, so I'm done cutting on the main fabric. Okay, you can see it behind, it's still pinned. Okay, this is the back and this is the front. Now I notched all our points. Okay, now I'd like to introduce us to interfacing is what will help to give your fabric more stability. Okay, now this is called hair stay. Hair is HAIR stay. Okay, so you have different interfacings in the market. You have the paper stay as well, but I like to work with hair stay. Okay, although the paper stay is more cheaper. All right, so we're going to be ironing this on the main fabric alone. Okay, but we'll iron it just from the waist to the hip line. That's where I'll be stopping. I'll do this on the front fabric and on the back. Remember I said I will be ironing this on the main fabric alone. This will help to stabilize the skirt, okay, or your outfit. All right, so I'll go ahead and iron this down. Okay, and then we'll proceed to the joining. The skirt is actually super fast. All right.